It'll be a points deduction that will guarantee relegation. I'm certain of that. Yes.
You think they'll relegate
for the most
Manchester City?
serious matters. If we're talking about the fact that for the last X number of years, the accounts have all been wrong very materially, and City have lied to every party, left, right and centre, then of course the sanction will be very, very severe. There can be no doubt about that. I don't even think City would deny that. It will all be about mitigation.
Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like and the share button. Probably the biggest off-field footballing matter, saga, situation that has existed in our lifetimes is slowly but surely coming to what we believe to be a conclusion over the verdict. Are Manchester City guilty? Are they innocent? And what will their outcome and fallout be? Hit the like button first of all. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Very important to us that you get those two things done. And of course, your opinions, your thoughts, your feelings. I want to garnish the content with your views. You are the most important part of the Football Terrace. Here is Borson on TalkSport. He's going to be breaking down the current updates on what's going on. I think there's some significant stuff within this to listen to. Let's take a little listen, then we're going to give our opinions on it.
The Independent Commission considering all the evidence before a verdict's announced. What are you hearing?
Well, so Pepper's said that the club expects to hear February, March. The fact that he was quite vague on that suggests that actually there isn't a very specific date and deadline that the panel has been given.
What have you heard, Stefan?
In terms of timing? Nothing. I can only tell you...
In terms of which way it's going?
I know City are confident, right? And City have been consistently confident. And, they do seem to be active in the transfer market, although struggling to get deals over the line. They are building a £400 million stand and hotel complex behind one of the stands, which doesn't strike me as the sort of thing that you would do if you weren't confident. A number of other sort of softer things that I've heard in the background do appear to support that level of confidence.
What do you all make of that first and foremost? City looks like they're going to spend this month, Mamouche, etc. Stadium expansions, investment being made. Is that a sign of innocence? Do you agree with Borson? That's the first thing I want to hear your comments on below. So when you pause it, leave your comments, and then get back to the content.
But we'll have to see. I mean, clearly that trial went the full length. It went to 12 weeks. And that means that everything we've said about the seriousness of the allegations must have been true, because you wouldn't run a hearing for 12 weeks if the matters underlying it were not serious allegations and didn't require very serious...
I don't think there's as much confidence as Stefan alludes to.
Okay, so here's Simon Jordan with a completely different view. Let's take a little listen. So strap yourselves in. I want to make you aware that it's changing direction here slightly. So let's take a listen.
I think there might be a challenge, but it'll be interesting to see how that manifests itself, because I don't think the idea that this Gulf State ownership would be doing things differently. This is chump change. The money that they spend on this is nothing in comparison with the wealth that they've got. So I would expect them to continue to evolve and do business in the way that they would have been doing it historically.
I suppose that's a fair point. I see it from both sides here, and that's why I want to get your opinions. Simon sees it as well. Of course, you're going to continue spending. It's even if you were found guilty and you had to sell the club, it's not like you're wasting money. You're so rich, it doesn't touch the sides. Chump change, as he calls it. But equally, you could see it as well. We know we're going to be fine. We know we've proved their innocence. Let's keep spending. Interesting.
The question is if indeed Man City were to be found guilty, what would they be suffering? What would the sanction be? Because I don't think anyone's got any real visibility or understanding of what that sanction can be. Because I've always felt they have a case to answer, and I've always felt that there was going to be some form of deal done, because there was too much at stake here, too much influence at stake here, too much currency. This is a nation state that bought a football club to create an outlook that's now, if they're convicted of something, kind of brings that down around its ears. Well, so I've always felt that there would be some sort of trade-off, as there often is in life and often as there is in politics, and it would find its way into this situation. But But, the supposition that I understand is that there are some challenges. Man City are not. They're not dancing in the aisles right now about how well they think they've done.
Well, I think there's a massive contradiction about the way that you've just described the case. I mean, at the end of the day, there has been no deal, right? So that's the first thing.
No,
secondly,
I said to you, I thought there might be.
As you say, the whole thing will come tumbling down around them if the most serious charges are proven.
What does that look like?
I don't think you can just sweep it under the
If the most serious
carpet.
charges are proven, what does the whole thing tumbling down around them
He
look
doesn't
like?
know, and neither do I.
Well, first of all, the sanction is not something they're going to be able to negotiate. There's going to be a very serious sanction hearing, right?
What would a sanction be then? We don't know.
Well, it'll be a points deduction that
Fine.
will guarantee relegation. I'm certain
think
of
so?
that. Yes.
You think they'll relegate
for the most
Manchester City?
serious matters? These are.
It's a really interesting one because although Simon Jordan's been proven wrong about a deal being struck before this 12-week case, there is still the thought and feeling that if they're found guilty, could it still be done in a way where City get to remain in the Premier League and they're still able to spend and keep the brand of City and the Premier League alive? Equally, the Premier League showing a little bit of teeth, being able to show that we're in control here to maybe deter other clubs away from it. What Simon's sort of suggesting here is he thinks that they've got a case to answer. He thinks ultimately they're guilty, but in the end, there won't be a particularly big punishment for Manchester City. What do you make of that? Before we go any further, shout out to Stocks FC, my favourite platform when it comes, whether it be fantasy football, whether it be anything along those lines. This is my favourite. Out of each and every single one of them, it's a great website. You get to invest in the stock of players that you rate. And if they perform, they score, keep clean sheets, they become part of teams of the week, you earn money back on what you invest. Plus, what I love about this platform is that once the shares are sold, once you buy them, the platform doesn't add more into it. It's owned by you, and if somebody else wants those shares to earn the rewards off them because they're a great player, they have to buy them from you. Okay, it's absolutely brilliant. You can scan the QR code on the screen now, or you can click on the link in our description below, and it will take you to the website. You can claim your free stocks, which you get right now. Over 11,000 people now using this, and I also advise you to go and check out the Trustpilot reviews on the website, or search it yourself on Google if you're feeling a little bit skeptical, which is fair. But it really is a great website. You can see the IPOs that are out now. Joe Linton, there's still a few available in him. Calafiori, not had the best of starts, as you can see. But do you think he's worth that investment? And when you look down here at people, you can see some... Look at Erling Haaland there shooting up after a little bit of a barren spell in front of goal. You can see Phil Foden, stock crashing, people losing faith in him. Mo Salah's an interesting one. It's dropping in value because nobody knows if he's staying beyond the end of this season. And look at Alexander Isak. The guy is growing massively. And if you want to get involved, you can scan the QR code on the screen, as I say, or you can click on the link in the description below. But check it out. It's amazing. Let's get back to the video here from TalkSport.
Serious. I'm saying if the serious parts are proven, I'm not saying about cooperation or some of the other bits and pieces. If we're talking about the fact that for the last X number of years, the accounts have all been wrong very materially, and City have lied to every party, left, right and centre, and multiple people have given witness statements that turn out to not be true, then of course the sanction will be very, very severe. There can be no doubt about that. I don't even think City would deny that. It will all be about mitigation.
See?
Okay, Manchester City, of course.
We've yet to see Chelsea's projected financial challenges, and each year we come in and have this conversation about how Chelsea are going to get caught and they don't.
Well, we'll
see, because I think Manchester City might well get done, but I'm not entirely sure the consequences of how they get done will be quite as far-reaching as you suggest.
Okay.
Well, that's what's really interesting about this. Simon Jordan thinks still there's going to be some kind of deal or less of a punishment for Man City. Obviously, Stefan Borson, his first view is he thinks City are innocent of all of this, but he is very sure that if they are found guilty of the serious elements and charges, that this will be quite literally a case of a big points deduction, which will guarantee relegation from the Premier League. I'd love to know your thoughts on this, what you've read, what you've seen, whispers on the ground, your interpretation of those two different views that we have just seen. That's the most recent update that there's been on this circumstance. City still reiterating consistently into the likes of Stefan Borson, we are confident, we're still investing, we are going to be triumphant. Other people like Simon Jordan hearing that they've got a case to answer. They're not dancing through the aisles. They are not as confident as they are making out publicly. The question is, who's bluffing? Who's bluffing here? Will City end up being relegated? Or even if they're found to be guilty, will it be a soft punishment? And does the severity of the punishment impact the legacy more or less? If it's a 10-point, 20-point, 30-point deduction and a £50 million fine versus a 100-point deduction and a £200 million fine, will that determine, regardless of the same verdict, does that change how you view them legacy-wise? That's if they're found guilty. City fans, don't cry. I'm painting a hypothetical. Give us your thoughts. Give us your feeling in the comment sections below. I thought this was a really interesting take and debate between the two of them. Go check it out on TalkSport's website if you want to watch the full thing. It's about 11 to 12 minutes long. They talk about Crystal Palace and other things as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.